All right, and there's Miss Melanie. Hi, guys. How are you? I hope you're having a fabulous Thursday. Goodness, this week like flew by. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm so excited to do this Zoom with you guys. And if you are catching the recording of this, I'm so glad that you're catching the recording. This is, goodness, what day is it? July 7th already. And this is a new promoter onboarding training. And so we're going to go through some basics for you as a new promoter. So whether you just joined in the past week, maybe you joined a couple weeks back or a couple months back, this is still going to be really great information for you. You can go back and listen to this recording again if you don't catch it all. I have a little list that I'm going to kind of go through and work through together. And then at the end, I'm going to take tons of questions. So it doesn't matter, big, small questions, you can ask them and I'm going to answer them for you on here. So we're going to jump right in. If we have not officially met, my name is Melissa Butler, and I am one of your pro champs on your team. So I've been drinking and sharing ketones for over 5 years, 5.5 years. I started this very much as a side gig, and I worked full time as an elementary school counselor. And about a year and a half in, got pregnant with another baby, my third at the time, and decided to step away from my job and do this on the side while raising my babies, which was such a blessing. And I found through that time that the business was really able to grow and I was able to give it a little bit more time and energy. And so about, gosh, a year and a half after that, which would be about 2.5 years ago, my husband stepped away from his job to do this with me as well. And so we do this business full time. And so I'm here as a support for you. As one of your team leaders, you are welcome to follow me on social media accounts, grab my cell phone number, text me, call me anytime that you need support or help. So I wanted to introduce myself. I live in Roanoke, Texas. So many of you guys are local and close to me. I know, but some are further out. Jamie, I think, are you down in Houston? To put in the chat where you are. Leslie, let me know where you are as well. I'm curious. But anyways, so it's nice to meet you. I'm so excited to do this training for you today. We're going to go through some basics, like I said, but it also might give you some new things to think about too. So a couple of things we're going to go through. I'm going to kind of list them off and then we'll just start kind of going through them one at a time. Hey, Britt, how are you out there in California, sister? All right, so we're going to go through first some tools and resources. So some things right out of the gate you want to make sure you have downloaded, that you have access to, so that when you're plugged in and we're in the chats or you're getting some ideas on Zooms, that you know what we're talking about, what we're referring to. So we're going to go through some of that. The next thing is we're going to talk about ACE. It's our simple process for being a promoter, for the activity that we do on a regular basis. We're going to talk about some of the really cool bonuses that you can earn in your first 3 months and ongoing in your business and what it takes to kind of run for those bonuses. We're going to do a little bit of social media basics, some do's and don'ts for sharing ketones on social media, and then also a little bit of back office training. I do have some training materials in place already for you for kind of a deeper dive into these things, but we're going to kind of do a bird's eye view of all these things today, just to kind of get everyone on the same page. So, all right, awesome. Britt, I know you're over there on LCD. We do have a big Prove It training going on right now called Leadership, Coaching, and Dynamics. And it is an online virtual training. So anytime that you have time today to plug an earbud in and listen to that training, it is absolute gold. And you'll get to kind of hear the heart of Prove It and who we are, which is really cool too. So if you have time today or tomorrow to plug into LCD, definitely for sure do it. I think I've done LCD 4 or 5 times, and every time I get something new, I learn something new, and it's amazing. Okay, so we're going to jump right in and we're going to start with tools and resources. So some of the stuff you may already know, and that's okay. I'm going to go through them kind of quick. But if you have a question, just pop it over in the chat and I'll be happy to answer it for you. So the first thing is you want to make sure, Jamie said, what is LCD? LCD, so Prove It puts on several different trainings all throughout the year. And one of them is called LCD, which stands for Leadership and Coaching Dynamics. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm not a leader yet. I don't have a team yet. You are a leader because you lead yourself every single day, right? And I would say 90% of that training is about how to lead yourself first. And when you learn to lead yourself, it helps you learn to lead other people. And so it's a really great training. So many of our incredible leaders in the company are sharing their story, sharing their vision, sharing tools and strategies for the business. It's really cool. So if you can pop in, it's virtual. They're doing it from headquarters in Louisville. Ashley Riddle is there, who's our rank 8 champ on our team. She's there in person. She actually did a portion of the training yesterday. Really cool. So plug into that if you can, for sure. It's totally free. You can just listen to it anytime today or tomorrow. Okay. So let's jump right in. One of the first things you want to make sure as far as tools and resources goes is you want to make sure that you have our Prove It Pulse app downloaded. That is like our lifeline to Prove It. So you want to download that from the App Store. You can manage your own orders. So you can manage your back office, we call it your cloud, straight from the Pulse. There's a news feed on the Pulse. So you'll see sometimes Ashley or myself or other leaders will broadcast things on the Pulse. We'll do, congratulations when people get rank ups and stuff like that. We'll also pulse out links for Zooms and trainings that you can hop on. That's also where you'll see when there's sales and things like that, that Prove It does. And so anything you see on there, you're welcome to engage in, participate in. Remember, at the end of the day, this business is your business. I should have said that right from the get-go. Anything I talk about on this training, remember, is just meant to support you. It's just meant for you to plug into what works for you. At the end of the day, you get to decide at what level you do this business, and that's the coolest thing. But we want to make sure you have everything at your fingertips to be successful. So anything that you see on the Pulse app, you're welcome to plug into. And so you can look through that news feed and see the trainings that are available and that kind of thing. Also in your Pulse app, if you look, there's also access to the resource center. If you haven't played around with that yet, I'm going to go through and make sure everybody's muted real quick. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's also the Resource Center. The Resource Center has everything you need to know about every single product we offer. It has back office training in there. It has social media training in there. It has so many things. So if you haven't played around and looked in the Resource Center in your Pulse app, definitely do that. I can show you a little bit more of where that is here in a moment when we kind of dive into that. And then also, obviously, like I said, you can manage your own orders, you can look up orders, and you can look up your rewards tab where you can see your commissions and different things that you've earned as well through the Pulse app. The next resource is boards. Many on our team use boards. It's not required, but it's an extra app where we kind of keep a lot of resources as a team. And so I have a team board called the Legacy Board. You're all welcome to use it. If you don't have it yet, I'll pop it into our team chats or on the team page. I know Ashley has a team board as well. And this is where we keep graphics. It's where we keep training videos. It's where we keep scripts, different things that you might need. Like if someone says, what are ketones? And you want to know how to explain ketones, those resources are there for you, as well as a lot of like the Keto 101 videos and things like that that you can connect your customers with. We keep all of that in boards for you. And every time we have a sale or a new flavor launch, your leadership team puts together a folder for that new product. So you can find graphics for it, wording for it, all of that, post ideas, all of it right there for you. So you don't have to do all the work yourself. So if you're not part of one of our team boards, you want to make sure you join one of those and reach out to myself or Ashley after the Zoom and we can get you plugged into those. And then finally, we have like our team chats and our Facebook group. So I have a team chat called the Legacy Team Chat. Ashley has a team chat as well as other leaders on our team. Make sure you're at least plugged into one. You don't have to plug into all of them. You don't have to keep up with everything, but at least plug in where your team mostly is. So the person who enrolled you, make sure you're plugged into that chat so you can kind of stay in the know of just daily happenings in the business, just different tips and ideas, and just because it's a fun part of being part of the community and being able to encourage one another. And then we also have a Facebook group called the Star Shooter Team Facebook group. This is where we celebrate people. It's also where we let the whole team know about things going on. We do business check-ins. We give ideas for building your business. It's just a great place to be plugged in. So all of that being said, you might be like, whoa, that's a lot. Remember, it's all resources that you can choose to use at whatever level works for you. And so I will say that checking in on those things on a regular basis, you don't necessarily have to keep up with every single message and that kind of thing, but plugging in there once a day, just kind of looking, seeing what's available to you, what's going on is definitely really, really helpful. Okay, so we're going to move on. That's your tools and resources. The next thing we're going to talk about is ACE. This is the simple system for sharing ketones. You'll hear us talk about it. You'll hear other leadership talk about it. And this is the simple system that Prove It trains on to help you learn how to share ketones. And it's an acronym. So the A stands for attract, the C stands for connect, and the E stands for experience. Okay, so attract means simply attracting people to ketones or the conversation. And there are a million ways to do this. It can be done through social media, and that can be done through posts. It can be done through going live. It can be done through stories. It can be done through reels, whatever you're comfortable with on social media. Attracting might also mean inviting some friends over and shaking up ketones and doing a tasting at your house with your family and friends. It might be doing vendor events. Like I've recently been doing different booths at fairs and festivals and stuff like that, and having a table and tasting ketones. It might simply be reaching out to friends and family that you're like, hey, I found something and I'm feeling amazing and loving it. And I feel like you would love this too. Have you ever heard of ketones? Okay, so it's just attracting people to the conversation. And there are so many ways to do it. And you can figure out what fits best for you, what's most comfortable for you, and maybe what pushes you out of your comfort zone a little bit. And you can grow in those areas. So attracting is simply sharing your story. And I'll dive more into that here in a moment. And then C is connecting. And connecting means connecting people with the resources they need in order to feel confident in making the decision to drink ketones. So a lot of times this is sharing the campfire video. Okay, so most of you probably have seen the campfire video. It's that cute little 4-minute cartoon video that explains what ketones are and how they work. A lot of times that's all people need to know in order to decide to drink ketones. They're like, yes, energy, focus, fat loss, sounds good. Give it to me, right? Some people might have questions. They might be like, can I drink ketones if I'm type 2 diabetic, or if I have thyroid, or if I'm pregnant, or whatever the questions are. So this is where you can connect to other resources, so other videos, other maybe research articles, that kind of thing, or to your team. So you might have a mama say, hey, I'm breastfeeding. Can I drink ketones? Well, I've drank ketones through pregnancy and breastfeeding twice. So I'm a perfect person to say, hey, let me introduce you to my friend Melissa. She actually drank ketones through 2 pregnancies. So she can tell you, her results and how it made her feel. And then you just put us in a little 3-way chat. Hey, Susan, this is my friend Melissa. She's been drinking ketones through pregnancy and breastfeeding. She'd love to tell you her story. So that's connecting as well. So connecting and utilizing your team and what your team's experienced in order to support your customer making that decision to drink ketones. And that's a huge part of this business and being successful, is figuring out what people need to know and connecting them with the right resource, because that third-party validation makes a huge difference. I think I saw Jonna on here. Jonna has had a phenomenal experience. She has had thyroid issues. There she is. She's curling. Are you curling your hair, Jonna? She has Hashimoto's, and she has the most amazing experience losing over 30 pounds, drinking ketones with thyroid issues. She's phenomenal. And so if I have someone who's like, I've got Hashimoto's, can I drink ketones? I'm like, you got to meet my friend Jonna. You got to chat with her and let her share her experience with you. And that just makes a world of difference to someone who's like, okay, that's someone who's been through this and knows what I'm experiencing and has had results. So that connect piece is a really big deal. And then finally, the E stands for experience. So that's giving people an opportunity to try ketones. If you are in one of our boards, we have lots of different scripts and stuff you can send to people when someone says, how much do they cost? Or what are the options for trying it? We have several different ones you can choose from. You can take that and tweak it to sound like what you want it to say. But most of the time when someone says, how much does it cost? Or how can I get started? I'll say, no problem. I can get you a trial pack, right? I can ship you a trial pack, or if you want to get more for your money, I can tell you the best options through the website. And so I let them tell me, okay, do I want to order through the website or get a trial pack? And a lot of times they'll say, well, at least send me the options so I can decide. So then I'll send them the best options. I'll normally start by telling them about one of our great bundles or Summer Slim Down. Then I'll tell them maybe about our 10-day challenge kit, which is a great kind of middle of the road place to start, where they get a full box, several flavors. And then obviously if they want to start with a trial pack. And so we'll send them options to help them have a chance to get started. And then beyond ACE, beyond attracting, connecting, and giving people an experience, is just making sure you plug that person in. So once that person's ordered, I like to think of the analogy of like fishing in a boat. If we fish and we catch a fish and we throw it on the bottom of the boat, eventually it dies, right? We have to like put the fish on water, take care of it, make sure that it stays alive. So it's the same thing with your customers. Once you get a new customer and they place an order, right, you want to make a little note to yourself, write down their name somewhere, make a little note to remind yourself to maybe follow up with them a couple days later. Hey, did your ketones arrive? What flavor are you going to start with? Okay, so making sure that they feel supported. Also plugging them into our community. We have an accountability group, that group that's called Better Me in 2023. We're working on the Summer Slim Down in there right now. They don't have to be doing a Summer Slim Down in order to be part of that group. You can say, I have this great accountability group. We do challenges. month to month, different activities. It's just a great place to plug in, learn more about ketones, hear other people's experience, and kind of get some coaching through the journey. So you can kind of plug your customers in there, or any other accountability group that the leader you're working with is running, you can do that as well. But everyone who's on here is welcome to be part of that Better Me in 2023. That's a group Ashley and I both utilize. And so that's a great place to plug your customers in and make sure they're really getting loved on and supported. Okay, so that's ACE, guys. It's super simple, right? Attract, connect, experience. I promise that if you keep it simple and you rinse and repeat that process, your business is going to grow. A lot of people think, oh man, what is the secret to, building this business? What's the secret to being able to grow this, to a high level? It's honestly doing that same thing and just doing it with consistency, right? Attracting people, connecting people, getting them a great experience and getting them plugged in. And we just rinse and repeat that, and you're going to hit those goals. So that takes us to the next part, which is talking a little bit about what are some of the goals that you can achieve in your first, especially in your first 3 months in the business, and then ongoing in the business. And so we have something called MVP. You'll hear us talk about it a lot. It's just really a fun goal to run for. Now, if you don't hit MVP, does that mean you're not going to be successful? Absolutely not. I didn't hit MVP my first several months in the business 5 years ago. I don't think I hit it for like a year into the business until I hit it for the first time. And so I tell you that to encourage you that I do this business full time now for a living, and I didn't start as an MVP. So just know that if you don't hit it, that's okay. It's just a fun goal to shoot for. So now, back when I started, they didn't have MVP 1, 2, and 3. Now it's really cool. You get to run for it 3 times, which is really neat. So in your first 30 days in the business, and really it's not from the moment you press go as a promoter, it's from the moment that you get your first order. Okay, so when you get your first order, your 30-day period begins for MVP 1. Okay, and you're going for a $500 cash bonus on top of your commissions, your profit from trial packs, all of that. So if you hit this marker, you'll get a $500 bonus. And what you're going for is what's called 2,000 in new personal qualifying volume. We call that NPQV. It's 2,000, okay? Every box of ketones has a value of 80. So 80 QV. So if you think about 2,000 divided by 80, that's 25 boxes of ketones sold in your first 30 days. You might go, holy moly, 25 boxes of ketones is a lot of ketones, okay? And it is. That is a lot of ketones. That's why it's a big goal, and that's why you get a $500 bonus. But I promise you, it's more doable than you think. And here's why. Someone's first order counts as new volume, and any order that that person places in their first 30 days. So if you sell that person, maybe they get started with a 10-day challenge kit. So 1 box of ketones, but then a week and, oh, sorry, my baby's crying and hitting the door. I hope you can't hear him in the background. Their daddy to the rescue. Okay, so if they order a box of ketones and then maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks later decide to buy another box, that counts as new volume too. So that's 2 boxes from that one customer. And so a lot of times it doesn't take 25 customers to hit MVP. It can really be done in 8 to 10 customers. Maybe you have 5 or 6 customers, and then you have a teammate or a customer that decides to join you as a promoter and they buy a big pack of product. That counts. So there's lots of different ways that you can hit this MVP goal. And if that's something you're like, man, that sounds like a lot, but I want to go for it, what I encourage you to do is let the person know who enrolled you and the person who's kind of your champ upline. So meaning the person who is working the business full time with that promoter, the person who has maybe earned their car. So rank 6 is what we call a champ. Rank 7 is pro champ. And so let that person know, say, hey, I'm new, I'm excited, but I really want to run for MVP. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but like I'm raising my hand, I'm excited, let's go. Okay, because what that does is it helps us to know what speed you want to do this business at. Some people join and they're like, you know what, I'm good to just kind of talk to my family and friends here and there, post a little bit on social media. I'm just looking to get my ketones at a great price, maybe share it with a couple people, but I'm not really like wanting to run for goals and make a significant amount of money. That's totally fine. We have hundreds of people on our team that do just that. And it's amazing. Like that's an amazing part of our business. But if you're the kind of person that you're like, man, this is really helping me and making a difference in my life. I know a lot of people who need this. I would love to build some significant side income doing this. Then we want to know that, because then it helps us with that accountability factor. It helps us maybe help you push outside your comfort zone a little bit, and just really go for it a little bit more. So definitely let that person know that you're working with, hey, I want to go for MVP, and I want to work toward that, because you'll be amazed at how you can do that, how you can achieve it. I help tons of my new promoters hit MVP all the time, and it's a lot of fun. So MVP 1 is your first 30 days. If you hit it, or if you don't hit it, guess what? You get to do it again. So you get to go for MVP 2 in the next 30 days, and then you get to go for MVP 3 in the next 30 days. So you get 3 months in a row that you can run for that $500 bonus. So you potentially can earn $1,500 in your first 90 days, on top of the fact that you're going to be earning commissions, making profit on selling trial packs, all of that. So great way for you to make some significant income in the business right out of the gate. And then beyond MVP, we have something called MVP multiplier. Okay. So once you're 90 days into the business, you've passed that MVP period. Now you get to run for that exact same qualifier. So 2,000 in new volume. And every month that you do that, you get a $250 bonus. So it goes down a little bit. But the cool thing is that every 3 months that you do it consecutively, the bonus goes up. So it's 250, 250, and then it goes up to 1,000 on that 3rd month. And then it's 250, 250, and then you get a $1,500 bonus. And then it's 250, 250, and then you get a $2,500 bonus. So I'm telling you this because I'm actually in my $2,500 month right now. So as soon as I hit MVP multiplier, I get a $2,500 cash bonus for doing it consistently and consecutively. And so this is an amazing goal. And the reason that Prove It really encourages this is because this is what builds your business, right? It's that consistently having new conversations, consistently talking to new people about ketones. And something really important to share is that your customers also count as new volume for you. So if you have a friend who's drinking ketones and they're like, hey, I think my mom needs this and my sister needs this, and they order, that counts as new volume for you. Until that person becomes a promoter underneath you, which they might end up becoming a promoter at some point, then that volume would count for them, for their MVP. But initially, helping your customers to refer friends and use their $20 off coupons, which we'll talk about in a moment, helping your customers do that also helps you to hit MVP and helps you to hit that bonus. So it's really cool to go for. We celebrate it huge on our team. It's a lot of fun. And even just the act of going for it every single month is a huge deal, because it means that you're growing your business, you're taking action, you're really working toward it. So, all right, so that's MVP. I did mention briefly about $20 off coupons. So let me explain that really quick if you're brand new. As a VIP customer or promoter, right? So VIP means you have an active SmartShip set up where you're getting ketones every 30 days. Your VIP, if you're in your first 3 months on SmartShip, and that means you're getting 15% off your monthly order. Once you get to the 3-month status, you go up to 25% off. So your monthly order is always 25% off at that point. Initially, you get 3 $20 off coupon codes that you can share with friends when they order, or new customers. In order to share that code, it's super simple. You take your referrer code, okay? So if your referrer code is, for example, mine is The Butlers is my referral code. It's the beginning part of my website. And if you have not, I'll show you that in just a moment. If you have not personalized that yet, like if yours was assigned by Prove It and it's a string of letters and numbers, I'll show you how to personalize your referral code. But in order to give a $20 off coupon, it's your referral code -20.shopketo.com. If you just send that, it's going to pop up your website with a little pop-up screen that says claim your $20 off coupon, and your customer can claim it. So super easy to do. Now, if your customer uses a $20 off coupon, guess what? You're going to get $20 off in points on your next order. And it works the exact same way for our customers. So any of our customers who have an active SmartShip set up, they get 3 of those $20 off coupons to share with their family and friends. Once they become VIP Plus, which means they've been on SmartShip for 3 months, they're getting 25% off. They get 3 of those coupons every single month. So you get 3 of those coupons every single month to share. $20 off with those first 3 new customers. Once you've gotten those first 3 new customers, you have an unlimited amount of $10 off coupons. Your regular Shop Keto website will give them an additional $10 off. And every time someone uses that, you get $10 off in points towards your product as well, which is really cool. So that's a really simple way for you to help your customers when they're like, I'm loving this. And you say, oh my gosh, do you have any family or friends who could use this or would want to try this? You can give them their coupon code and they can share that with a family or friend. Amber said she just got someone asking for a sample pack during this chat. Woohoo! Putting out the positive energy. I love it, Amber. That's awesome. All right. So that is MVP coupons, all of that. If you just hopped on, you can, I'm going to update or upload, sorry, this to YouTube, and I'll send it out to everyone so you can catch the recording if you didn't get the first half of the training. Okay, so we're going to hop into social media basics for just a few minutes. Okay, so this is basics on sharing on social media. Remember, our business, you don't have to only attract through social media. I got more skilled at social media during the COVID years because it's all we could do. And so we really had to learn how to grow our business on social media. But now that the world has opened up, I'm loving getting out in front of people. I never thought that that was going to be like my wheelhouse, but I love doing vendor events. I'm actually going to set up a table at a vineyard on Sunday. This coming Sunday from 12 to 5, I have a little table I'm going to set up along with 15 other vendors, jewelry, candles, all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going to taste ketones and I'm going to sell trial packs. So that is so fun to me. I love getting out. I love making connections with people. So if social media is not your thing, just know that there are so many other ways to share ketones. And if you're like me, if you're like, oh, I'd love to get out in front of people, again, let the person know who enrolled you. Let your champ know. Just say, hey, I would love to learn how to do vendor events. I'd love to learn how to do more in-person stuff, and we can help you with that as well. Okay, but we are going to talk about some social media basics because that's how most of us are going to share consistently on a regular basis and get started. And so a couple things with social media. And I had to learn this. I was that person who had like 300 Facebook friends. I barely had an Instagram account when I started sharing ketones, and I maybe posted once a month. Okay. I was a consumer on social media. I was not a creator when I started out with ketones. And I have built that muscle and I've grown my network over time. So just know there's hope for you if you fall in that category. If you already create and post and share a lot on social media, awesome. You've got a little bit of a head start. But just know it's a process and you can grow and learn more over time. Okay, so starting out, I want to encourage you that engagement is what's so important. Okay, a lot of times we think like, oh man, I'm going to put my first post out there about ketones. And if I don't get 15 people commenting on it, then I'm not going to be good at this. And that is just not the case. Okay, you're going to do some posts that get 25 likes and 10 comments, and then you're going to do some posts that get 2 likes and no comments, and you're like, what did I do? I don't understand, right? I did the same thing. Okay, it has to do with algorithms on social media. So time of day matters, how frequently you've been on social media, how frequently you've posted, how much you've engaged in other people's posts. All of those things really matter. And so it's important to understand that. So the more you can up your engagement on social media right now, the better. So that means maybe set a timer for 10 minutes a day that you are going to, comment on people's posts on social media. You're going to engage with other people. It's also really important to share stuff that has nothing to do with proven and ketones. So if you already post once a day, maybe upping that to posting twice a day. If you're like, I post once a week, Melissa, then maybe going for that goal of posting every other day, right? Or trying to post every day. And I don't mean ketones every day. I call this KLT, know, like, and trust content. You'll see me refer to KLT content a lot. That is content that doesn't have anything to do with ketones. So that is stuff about your family, friends, maybe your faith, maybe you like to share scriptures or encouragement, affirmations. Maybe that's recipes, maybe that's hobbies, maybe it's pets. Everyone loves to see your pets. Maybe it's travel, anything that interests you, just sharing content more consistently about those things. Okay. And so that builds that know, like, and trust factor of people as they follow you, realizing she's not just on social media to sell me something. She's really sharing who she is. I know her. I like her. I trust her. Okay. I'm going to give this drink a try that she keeps talking about. Okay. So know, like, and trust content on a consistent basis is really important. Okay. And then the next thing is creating curiosity when you do talk about ketones. And so you want to work with, if you haven't done your first post on social media yet, you want to work with that person that enrolled you and maybe your champ as well to kind of come up with that first post or those first couple of posts over your first week or two in the business where you're sharing your story, right? What you struggled with before, what ketones have done for you, what you're most excited about. We have some documents for you to kind of figure out your story and boards that we can share with you as well. But how to share your story, but also how to do it in a way that creates curiosity. You don't want to give it all away right out of the gate. And this is something I was so guilty of when I got started. I love science and I wanted to throw up all the science on everybody all the time. And I learned that most people don't need all that. Most people just want to know, what did this do for you? personally? Like, how has this changed your life? Because what they do is they see themselves in your story, and then they're more likely to want to try it. So creating curiosity by sharing your own story, and also by not giving it all away. So we suggest at first when you're posting to post pictures of your drink, maybe in like a pretty glass or in a cup that doesn't necessarily say ketones or nat on it. Something that just kind of shows the bright, pretty color of the drink. Maybe you can say ketones. It's not like you can't say it. I don't like it when people sell things and never tell you what it is. It drives me bananas. But right at the beginning, it is okay to say, this drink has done this, this, and this for me, and I'm so excited. And that way it causes people to say, well, what is the drink? Tell me more about it, right? You want that engagement. And then I would say one of the biggest mistakes people make from the beginning is posting their website or posting their link in their posts, putting it in their post or putting it in the comments. The only time I do that is when we have a limited time frame of a sale, meaning like we have 3 hours and the sale's gone. Sometimes I'll post my link in my keto group or in my stories when that happens, but otherwise I don't post my link. I don't say, click here, because what happens is if people are interested, they can click your link and look right away and decide whether or not they want to order. Maybe they see the price and they're like, no, it's too expensive. And they don't realize that there's discounts and coupons and all these things, right? And you have no idea they were interested. You have no idea they even clicked your link. So you don't have any way to follow up with that person. So I prefer on my post to give a call to action. If this is something you need in your life, drop a heart below or reach out to me or say ready in the comments. And that causes people to comment on it, which boosts your post in the algorithm, which is a good thing, right? So more people will see your post. And it gives you a chance to talk to that person. It gives you a chance to reach out to them, to build a relationship, to ask them why they reached out, what they're needing, and how ketones can help them. And then you have a chance to follow up and really build a relationship. So that's one of the most important things, is not putting your website in your posts, making sure that you don't take away that opportunity to build a relationship and have a conversation with the person. So that's kind of the biggest, one of the biggest mistakes I see in a lot of new promoters' posts and stuff. Okay. And then the next thing is consistency, right? So just showing up consistently, staying close to the fire. We have a Monday night team call every Monday night. Ashley or I or one of our other leaders host that call. It's at 7:30 on Monday evenings. And we typically give you some mindset, some encouragement. We do celebrations, but we also give you some tactical stuff.
You need something?
To go into your week and work on throughout the week. And so it's just a great way for you to get different tips and stuff for your business. And showing up consistently, if you're doing that on social media with your posting, with your sharing, you're going to get lots of ideas. Our boards are full of all kinds of ideas. Our chats are full of ideas. And just know, don't compare. This is probably my biggest tip too to someone who's new. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 50, right? If you're like, how on earth do they make their reels look like that? Or their stories look like that? Or, oh my gosh, how do they come up with that wording, right? Remember, I've been doing it for 5.5 years. There's other people on our team who they are like graphic design gurus. I'm like, how do you make your graphics look that pretty, right? We're a team, so feel free to screenshot things and recreate things. It's okay for you to do that. But also don't be hard on yourself if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that. Ask for help, raise your hand, say, hey, is there a social media training on Reels or on stories? We have all of those things, and we'd be happy to give you those things to plug into and learn if you want to grow in those areas. And so just don't compare yourself. I always tell people too, the people who just show up and give it their best, right? And I call it ignorance on fire, do the best in this business. Okay. The people who just make mistakes, but they go for it. They post, they share, they talk to people, and they just go for it. They're the ones that win. Okay. So ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. I was knowledge on ice for the first 1.5 years in my business. I was like, I'm going to watch every video. I'm going to know the science. I'm going to have the prettiest trial packs. I'm going to have everything exactly the way I want it. I'm going to have pretty business cards. I'm going to do this. But guess what? I wasn't talking to anybody about ketones. I was getting ready to talk to people about ketones, but I wasn't actually talking to people. And so the more that you can go after it, and you can talk to people, and your ignorance on fire. Yes, Jamie, you are ignorance on fire, Miss MVP. Okay. You just go for it. You just go for it. Talk to as many people as you can. The best way you're going to learn is by making mistakes. Okay. And building that muscle and growing over time. And that's what your team is here for. We're going to support you and help you. Okay. All right. So that's what I've got for you on social media basics. I just realized my Zoom is running out of time on us. It gave us a 40-minute limit, but we do have a back office basics training. So everything I was going to touch on in back office is in actually that video training. And so I'll pop that in the chat and make sure you have access to it, how to personalize your referral code, how to look up orders, all of that. We have a training for it already done. So I'll send that to you guys. Real quick, in our last 2 minutes, if you have a question that I have not covered, type it over in the chat. Know that we have tons of training available to you and can support you, and that I'm here for you to ask questions. So is Ashley and many of our other leaders. But I hope that this was at least a good overview for you and you feel like you have a little bit of knowledge in your back pocket to get started. But if you guys have any questions, pop them over into the chat. And if not, we can sign off here in just a moment. Let me look through and see if I missed any questions. I don't think so. I think we're good. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on with me this morning. I hope this was helpful for you. Mindy, I'm excited to see you this afternoon over at Susan's house. I hope you guys have a fabulous afternoon and we'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everybody.